Are you aspiring to ace the UPSC CSE? Commence your transformational journey with the Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation Course 2025. Empower your exam preparation through cutting-edge educational technology and personalized learning experiences with tech-enabled learning. Dive into concepts with animations, videos, and interactive tools designed for maximum understanding and retention. Personalized student portal. Access live classes, recorded sessions, and extensive academic resources, all at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Enroll now and step closer to accomplishing your IAS dream. With the Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation Course 2025, batches starting from 31st August, 5 p.m., 17th September, 9 a.m., 24th September, 1 p.m., 30th September, 5 p.m.
Hello, good evening everyone. So we have polity session has just ended, right? So very different subject from polity, science and tech. I'm going to divide this session into few parts. We'll first talk about very basic things, the relevance of the topic, very basic questions which we should answer before we have started preparing. What should we refer to for this subject? How should we approach this subject? What should be the sources? And then I'm going to show you a few examples. The goal of showing those examples will be to demonstrate that how this is fundamentally a very different topic from other topics which you study in your preparation. Right, so let's start with a very simple and very basic question, that what is the relevance of this subject in the examination? And you expect about, I would say, 10 to 11 questions, max, sometimes 14 also. So if you see 2019 and 20, you had 14 questions also. But on an average, you can expect about 10, 11 or 12 questions from this topic. Some of the topics like ecology or environment for that matter. In environment also, there has been a focus on asking questions which I will say environmental technology. For example, think of questions from renewable energy sources or questions from pollution control technologies. So even those questions do have a focus on technology. But even if I remove that, even then you expect about 9, 10, 11 questions every year in prelims. And in mains, you expect 3 questions almost every year. 1 year there were 2 questions, but there also have been 4 questions. So, but almost every year you expect 3 questions. So about 40 to 50 marks you expect in mains paper 3 particularly. So this is the relevance part, that why this is important. Why I mentioned that why this topic is particularly very, very different from other topics. Let me directly jump into a simple SWOT analysis this topic, that before we start studying about science and technology, there are very basic things which should be very clear in every aspirant's mind. That science tech का कोई syllabus है नहीं. अगर आप देखोगे तो prelims में एक word, बस 2 word लिख रखा है general science. That's it. They have not mentioned anything. They have just mentioned general science, which essentially means that syllabus is really fast. If there are no correct keywords given, then they can ask questions from anything. Right. So that is one of the weakness, right? One of the weakness of this subject is that undefined and thus vast syllabus. There is no fixed source also, so they can ask questions from. ऐसा कोई भी book नहीं है जिससे हम बोलेंगे कि अच्छा इस book से पढ़ के बहुत सारे questions आ जाएंगे. There is no such book available, and it simply can't be made available because most of the questions are from current affairs, right? You have read current affairs of 1 or 2 year, and then you can say that most of the questions will be from current affairs. So there is no standard book also which you can refer to. That is another challenge, right? Few topics can be complex. However, one of the biggest misconception around this subject here is that questions will be very difficult, or particularly students who do not have science background or engineering background or medical background, they may particularly feel scared of this subject simply because of the fact that there is a initial hard work which is more than other topics. So for example, when you study polity, when you study history, or for that matter even in subjects like geography or economy, जहाँ पे थोड़ा बहुत फिर भी technicality है. In science tech, at least in few subjects, the technicality will be more complex compared to what you study in geography, economy, and it will definitely be much more difficult than studying polity or history, right? You do not find a lot of complexity per se. You enjoy them. That is another thing. When you study, if you are studying, let's say, fundamental rights for the first time, you enjoy them. I enjoyed them. I remember I enjoying reading fundamental rights. But they make sense to you, right? If you do not have background in science, particularly if you haven't studied science, let's say after class 10th or 12th, then some of the topics, they may seem alien to you. Alien in the sense that the prima facie you may find it difficult to appreciate or comprehend a topic. But I can promise this, that irrespective of the background, everybody can do really well in this subject. Simply because of the fact that UPSC does not expect you to go into some depth analysis of a topic or some deep knowledge of scientific concept. They want a very basic understanding of the topic. They want you to appreciate basic applications from a particular technology, right? And most of the questions will be based on along with these ideas only. Now I have many examples to show here. But if you are not aware about something, then you simply question you simply will not be able to attempt. It may seem like a very factual or alien question to you. So one of the biggest challenge I think aspirants face, and particularly again I will say that aspirants who do not have the background in the subject, that they may feel this initial barrier too big to bridge. But believe me, it is not too big to bridge. That you need to work more here, you need to revise more here. But believe me, this will be much more fruitful in terms of your attempts. आपका जो output है वो बहुत better होगा compared to the amount of input you are going to give, right? So you maintain a very high level of accuracy in science and tech questions, चाहे वो prelims or mains. So for example, let's say there are 12 questions. I think that everybody, all of the aspirants can easily attempt 10 questions and they can get 9 also correct. That is what you should think about. That is how you should approach this subject. That if there are 12 questions, I'm going to attempt 10, I'm going to get 9. If there are 3 questions in mains, I'm going to answer all 3 of them. बहुत ही rare होगा जहाँ पे कोई क्वेश्चन ऐसा होगा जो आपको लगेगा कि नहीं ये तो हम अटेम्प्ट नहीं कर सकते. बहुत ही मेंस में सारे क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्टेबल होंगे. बहुत रेयरली होगा कि आपको ये लगेगा कि दिस इज नॉट अटेम्प्टेबल. प्रीलिम्स में 12 में से 10 अटेम्प्टेबल होंगे. आप उसमें 10 के 10 भी सही होंगे, 8-9 तो आराम से सही हो सकते हैं. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली अ वेरी हाई स्कोरिंग सब्जेक्ट. एफर्ट ज़्यादा है बट फिर उस हिसाब से आपका जो आउटपुट है वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा है. सो यू शुड बी विलिंग टू पुट इन टू मोर एफर्ट in this particular subject, that you keep reading same thing again and again. It will make sense to you. You have to put into this extra effort. But if you're not willing to do that, then again वही होगा कि जैसे जैसे आप एक खौवा बना लोगे मन में कि heavy लग रहा है, भारी लग रहा है, not able to understand things. ये जैसे जैसे हवा बनेगा वो बड़ा होते चले जाएगा. And after some point of time you will simply feel कि नहीं इसको करना ही नहीं है. And that is perhaps the biggest like वो एक something will be a blunder. Please don't do that. That is why I thought that let's do a SWOT analysis of this particular topic. That questions are conceptual in science and tech. Questions are based on application in various domains. Questions are inspired from current affairs. Rot memorization की ज़रूरत नहीं है. If you appreciate a topic, if you understand a topic, you get the answers correct. You do not have to memorize facts here. Hardly there will be few questions where you need to memorize facts. Most of the questions are conceptual, analytical questions. कोई fixed source नहीं है, undefined syllabus है, vast syllabus है, few topics are complex without a doubt. Opportunities are there, current affairs, relevance. इसी बहाने आप करंट अफेयर्स और ज़्यादा एक आदत बना लोगे पढ़ने का, जो कि बाकी टॉपिक्स में भी हेल्प करेगा. सो इट्स नॉट जस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर साइंस टेक. करंट अफेयर्स इन एनी केस यू हैव टू डू फॉर एवरीथिंग. It is high scoring subject. So in both prelims and mains, you score really, really well here, right? Information overload can be a threat. Ignoring the subject can be a threat. And I will show you a few examples. Of course, I cannot discuss all of the examples of previous year questions, but I will show you a few examples that what type of questions you expect to be asked by UPSC. Anyways, before I do that, let's start with one of the most basic question first, that if there is no syllabus, that does not mean that we cannot categorize the subject into few specific themes, right? So let's use Aristotelian technique here. Let's try to divide the topics of science tech given the previous year questions, that what are some of the popular domains where UPSC asks questions from, right? The most popular domain here will be in prelims examination will be this topic here, space technology and astronomy. Even more important than this will be this one, information and communication technology, and then biotechnology and health will be the third most important domain. Most of the questions will be from these three topics only. So I have divided all of the questions, and I can fit all of the questions of science tech from last 10, 12 years into either of these subtopics. These are not like well-defined topics in your school days. School days में आप basic science खाली पढ़ते हो, physics पढ़ते हो, chemistry पढ़ते हो, biology पढ़ते हो. There will be few questions from physics, not so much from chemistry. There will be few questions from biology. So there will be questions from basic science, that is there. Although the contribution of basic science in number of questions in prelims is hardly, I would say, less than 10%. And in mains it is almost 0%. So in mains you do not expect any question from basic science per se. Most of the questions will be from technology. Biotechnology is a very favorite topic of UPSC. So understanding about biological processes, biological organisms, and the most recent advancements in the field of biotechnology, such as gene editing, gene sequencing, gene therapy, stem cell therapy, CAR-T therapy. The most recent advancements you have to know in detail and their possible applications. But across all of these topics, one thing should be very clear in everybody's mind, that how these different domains of technology help in a nation's progress at most grassroots level. Because remember, whenever technology is simply nothing but some application of scientific knowledge, that we are trying to understand how nature works. And based on that understanding, we are essentially trying to develop something to make our life easier, hopefully. A lot of times it makes our life more difficult, but hopefully it makes our life easier. And that is what technology is all about, that we are trying to apply that scientific understanding. So biotechnology, health, which is another very popular topic for particularly prelims examination. Advancements in space technology, particularly, let's say, for example, what ISRO is doing. Satellite programs, rocket programs of ISRO. What is ISRO doing in field of astronomy? And overall, some basic knowledge of astronomy. So I can also put astronomy here in basic sciences. That some very basic understanding about, let's say, for example, life cycle of stars or overall evolution of universe. Not the complex ideas. Some very basic ideas, appreciating that what they are. And questions will be from those basic ideas only. ICT is a huge domain. Like ICT is a word which includes everything which we are, for example, using in our day-to-day life. So ICT includes all of the communication technologies, of course, but it also includes advancements in computing or advancements in electronics. So all of the different type of electronic devices, all of the advancements in communication technology, how we are trying to make communication better, all of the advancements in computing, how our computing is becoming better and better, that will fit into ICT. So this is a huge domain, and within this huge domain, I can further categorize that into many subtopics. Another popular theme asked by UPSC in both prelims and mains is nuclear technology. Now, nuclear technology का एक जो direct application है वो energy में है, that you produce nuclear energy through nuclear fission or fusion. But nuclear technology application in other areas also we should know. Defense is a topic which UPSC has picked up in last few years, and almost every year now they're asking a question from defense technology, particularly in prelims, and there was a question in mains also 2-3 years ago. Then there is another domain which has become very popular in prelims again. In last few years, almost every year I'm looking a question from this domain, which is material sciences, and which is not surprising, by the way, because I often feel, and I say that in my class also, that material science is one of the most unsung branches of technology, that we do not talk about material sciences enough. We talk about ICT a lot, we talk about space technology a lot, biotechnology a lot, but we do not talk about material sciences and the role it plays in developing domains of technology. For example, मोबाइल फ़ोन के ट्रांजिस्टर्स किस मटेरियल के बने होंगे, वो मटेरियल साइंस का डोमेन है. बॉडी में पेस मेकर लगाना है, वो किस मटेरियल का बना होगा ताकि बॉडी में टॉक्सिसिटी प्रोड्यूस ना करे एंड स्टिल डज इट जॉब, वो मटेरियल साइंस का डोमेन है, राइट. कार का जो ओवरऑल स्ट्रेंथ हो, सुंदर भी लगे, स्ट्रेंथ भी हो, ड्यूरेबल भी हो, वो मटेरियल साइंस का डोमेन है. आई हैव टू सेंड अ रॉकेट टू स्पेस, materials which can sustain high temperature of few thousand degrees Celsius, वो material science का domain है. So any branch of technology which you can think of, without material science, that branch of technology is simply not going to deliver you anything. So for me, this is a very important domain. And an advancement in material sciences has occurred a lot due to nanotechnology, science and engineering done at nanoscale, atomic molecular scale. I'm talking about 1 to 100 nanometer. This is quite amazing. Energy resources, so जो nuclear energy है, जैसे यहाँ पे vision है, इसमें हम देखो इसको कैसे approach करेंगे. Nuclear energy तो हम science tech में करेंगे, बाकी के जो भी energy resources हैं like solar and wind, everything we discuss in environment. But nonetheless, why I have covered this here, that advancements in alternative energy sources is very important domain right now. Think about one of the biggest problem we are facing right now is global warming, which is essentially because of burning of fossil fuel. And in any case, we know that fossil fuel is a non-renewable source of energy. It is going to get depleted in, let's say, next 80, 90, 100 years. So we have to look for other energy sources, and the sooner the better, because right now they are causing a lot of environmental problems. So a lot of work is happening how to use energy from different sources and not relying upon fossil fuel sources. And this is where solar energy or wind energy or biofuels or green hydrogen or geothermal energy or tidal energy, all of those different sources of energy will fit into this discussion about energy resources. And then there is a topic called IPR, which is given in your mains syllabus. You hardly expect a question in prelims, but almost every 2 or 3 years, you expect a question in mains examination. For example, I would highly, one of the theme which I think will be asked by UPSC in this year mains will be perhaps from IPR. Of course, I might be totally wrong, because last time they asked a question was 2021. And every 2 and 3 years, they ask at least one question in mains examination from intellectual property right. So prelims में देखो general science खाली लिखा हुआ है, but mains में कुछ keywords दे रखे हैं. ये mains का syllabus है आपका. ये जो अभी हमने पहला slide देखा था इससे पहले, this is the division I have done based on the previous year questions of both prelims and mains. But this is the syllabus. In mains, you have more or less some keywords given. The first keyword is science and technology developments and their applications and effects in everyday life. This does not tell you a lot. This is again very similar to that general science जो prelims में दे रखा है, because it means that we are essentially asking about any domain of technology. ये जो पहला लाइन है, इससे कुछ भी नहीं है, इसमें कुछ पता नहीं चलेगा. ये कुछ भी डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, you should know about that for examination perspective. बाकी के lines जो है वो more concrete है, achievements of Indians in science and technology. So you have to essentially know about Indian scientists and their contribution. Then there is this word indigenization of technology, which essentially means that India doing something in a particular domain of technology rather than relying upon other countries. So we taking care of our own developmental requirement right? That is indigenization of technology. And then some keywords are given here: information technology, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, IPR. All of these keywords we saw earlier also, except robotics. This is given in the syllabus, although UPSC has neglected this topic. Mains में पिछले 12-13 साल में सिर्फ एक क्वेश्चन आया है robotics पे. In any case, you learn about robotics in your preparation itself. So this is the syllabus. That syllabus in prelims is not at all defined. In mains, some keywords are given and you can pick those keywords, but you also have to add more keywords looking at the questions of both prelims and mains examination. And those keywords will be nuclear technology or defense technology or material sciences, right? Those are some of the keywords which you have to focus upon. तो ये तो एक syllabus का part हो गया कि this is like syllabus of science and tech. Sources हम क्या refer करें, हम क्या पढ़ सकते हैं, कहाँ से पढ़े आप? I am very clear in my mind about a very simple fact that कोई भी market में जो available किताब है उसको पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. जो साइंस एंड टेक के पर्सपेक्टिव से लिखा हुआ है कोई भी किताब, और मार्केट में बहुत सारे बुक्स मिल जाएंगे, कोई भी काम का नहीं है. Simply because most of the questions you can simply answer from basic newspaper reading. So if you haven't studied science in quite some time, then this is the time to revise your 9th and 10th NCERT. Not because UPSC is going to ask questions from these two books. Maybe they will. It's not because of that. It's simply that you get to brush up the basic concepts you might have simply forgotten. It's been quite some time if you haven't studied science in after class 10th or after class 12th also. So I am not even asking you to read 11th and 12th NCERT. I'm simply asking you to read 9th and 10th NCERT chapter by chapter without skipping any chapter. So चाहे वो हिंदू, चाहे वो फिजिक्स हो, केमिस्ट्री हो, बायोलॉजी हो, सब पढ़ना है आपको. 11th 12th का बायोलॉजी के कुछ सेलेक्टेड चैप्टर पढ़ सकते हो, फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री की बिल्कुल ज़रूरत नहीं है. सो डू नॉट हैव टू रीड फिजिक्स एंड केमिस्ट्री फ्रॉम 11th and 12th, बट फ्यू चैप्टर्स ऑफ बायोलॉजी कैन बी स्टडीड. वो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल क्लास 12th बायोलॉजी हैज़ this last 4 chapter on ecology and environment. I think that's a great resource for environment particularly, not for science and tech, but it's a great resource for environment. And similarly, there are few chapters on health, there are few chapters on biotechnology in both class 11th and 12th biology. So those chapters can be studied, right? So only biology and only then selected chapters, but 9th and 10th, all chapters which you have to do. And then immediately after this, you have to read Hindu. हिंदू का साइंस टेक का कवरेज बहुत ही बढ़िया है. इंडियन एक्सप्रेस का जो साइंस टेक का कवरेज है, दे हैव इम्प्रूव्ड इट सिग्निफिकेंटली. सो इन लास्ट 3-4 years particularly, they have made significant improvement. So I highly recommend reading Indian Express also. One of the challenge which will come in particularly reading Hindu is that Hindu का कवरेज बहुत डिटेल्ड है. And they will go into a lot of technicalities of things. And then you ask a question that, do we also have to know all the technicalities? And most of the time the answer is no, you do not have to. So before you jump into again preparation about, and before you start studying about this topic, if you are referring to Hindu, and refer to Hindu, बहुत ही बढ़िया coverage है science tech का. But remember that most of the topics they include lot of technical jargon, which is not at all required for your preparation. Even if you know the basic idea what a particular coverage is about, that is more than enough for both prelims and mains examination. And you can simply avoid many technical jargons while reading the article. How to do that? For that, we need to have a proper analysis of PYQs, previous year questions. They will help you a lot. They will pave your path, that what to filter out and what to grasp, right? So उसके लिए PYQs देखना बहुत ज़रूरी है, चाहे वो prelims हो या mains examination हो. Indian Express, they have, I will repeat, they have significantly improved their coverage, and particularly in their explained pages. They are like explained pages बहुत सारे topics के लिए काफ़ी helpful है, but science tech के लिए तो definitely बहुत helpful है. So I highly recommend that. Read the explained pages of Indian Express also. So these are primary resources. immediately after that will be all other ready-made source of material. So कोई भी आप ready-made material पढ़ते हो, ये बहुत अभी ट्रेंड है, राइट, कि इंस्टीट्यूट्स को आपको रेडीमेड मटेरियल प्रोवाइड करना है बिकॉज यू आर डिमांडिंग फॉर इट, इंस्टीट्यूट्स करेंगे. बट इफ दिस बिकम्स योर प्राइमरी सोर्स ऑफ करंट अफेयर्स प्रिपरेशन, then your preparation is going in the wrong way. So don't take this shortcut that current affairs पढ़ना है, उसके नाम पे आपने मैगजीन पढ़ लिया और आपको लग रहा है कि आपका current affairs हो गया. So don't take that shortcut. That shortcut will not be very helpful. Simply because you will never develop your own perspective about things. For example, when you read an opinion, then gradually you start also doing a critical analysis of a particular opinion page. You start developing your own opinion. You're looking at the arguments, you're analyzing those arguments, you're trying to find the gist of arguments represented by the author, rather than looking point by point जो मटेरियल में दे रखा है, राइट. तो ये चीज़ें हम तब करते हैं जब हमारा प्रिपरेशन ऑलरेडी एक बढ़िया लेवल पे आ चुका है, राइट. सो देयर विल बी अ सिग्निफिकेंट ड्यूरेशन ऑफ टाइम. In fact, you should never stop reading newspaper, but you can rely upon ready-made material once you have done your primary newspaper reading by yourself. So this should be very clear in every aspirant's mind, that not for a moment think that this is going to simply suffice. And what happens is that a lot of students then come to me in the month of February, March. Sir, prelims तो जून में है, newspaper पढ़ा नहीं, तो PT 365 पढ़ लें क्या? तो मैं आपको थोड़े बोलूँगा कि साल भर का न्यूज़पेपर उठाओ और बैठ के पढ़ो. ऑफ कोर्स आई विल से कि हाँ PT 365 पढ़ लो, magazine कर लो revise. I do not have any other option to say, but I'm assuming here that many of you are simply preparing, starting your preparation, or have just entered into your preparation. So it should be very clear that please do not take any ready-made resources as your primary source of material. Newspaper is your primary source of material. Newspaper reading is a primary source of material. Maybe a lot of things will not make sense initially, but gradually they will. Give it time, gradually they will. So, and Vision Eyes monthly magazine has a very good coverage of science and tech. So you can refer to that also, but choose any one. That is another thing, do not suffer from FOMO. That इसका भी magazine है, उसका भी magazine हो, ये सब बिल्कुल नहीं करना है. आपको जो सबसे अच्छा लगता है, आपके मन में जो ये बढ़िया लग रहा है, इनका कवरेज अच्छा है, लैंग्वेज बढ़िया है, ल्यूसिड है, क्लियर है, जो भी आपको लग रहा है उसको रिफर करो, बट एक ही को रिफर करो, 50 को रिफर करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. प्लीज़ डू नॉट सफ़र फ्रॉम फोमो. सो यूज़ रेडीमेड मटीरियल एज अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री सोर्स and use only one, not too much. Don't put too many things in your basket. Use YouTube extensively for visualizing concepts. There are like really good educators out there, right? So with help of those educators, you can enhance your knowledge. So if you are coming across some concept which you are, let's say, not able to simply visualize, you have difficulty in visualizing concept, then believe me, whatever concept you are reading, there is a visual demonstration of that available on YouTube. So it will hardly take like 4 or 5 minutes. So rather than watching reels, perhaps you can watch those explainer videos, and that will be of great help here. And you can also use ChatGPT. Like I do not have a lot of students say, a lot of teachers say that any ChatGPT use nahi karna. I don't see why. I think ChatGPT is a great tool in your preparation. This is one of the best tool which has emerged in the market for so many of us, but definitely for aspirants, UPSC aspirants, that you get to enhance your knowledge totally free of cost just by asking the correct question on this AI tool, a large language model, which by the way we will learn. We have to know what is ChatGPT, इसका underlying technology क्या है, वो भी हमको आप तो पहले यही पूछना चाहिए ChatGPT से आपको कि what is your underlying technology, and maybe ChatGPT will give you a very good answer to that question. Use ChatGPT as much as you can. Maybe do not rely upon ChatGPT for the factual data. Maybe its training data is outdated or it is giving you wrong response. But for analysis part, it's fantastic. And not just for science and tech, you can do that for each and every subject. There is a simple way how aspirants can utilize that. You can make many tabs here. Whenever you ask a question, it creates a tab for you. There is an option to rename that tab. Go and rename it. For example, make a tab for polity, and all of the questions of polity you're asking in that tab. Make a tab for economics, make a tab for science and tech, ecology and environment, and you're asking questions of that particular topic in that particular tab. So you will have a very good repository of all the questions you have asked till now, and whenever you want, you can revise it. You can ask ChatGPT to make concepts, complicated concepts, into as crisp, concise as possible, and it will be able to do that. You're not liking a monthly current affairs magazine. You want ChatGPT to summarize it, ask it to do that. Copy paste it and say that please summarize this, and it will do that. So it has reduced your preparation effort significantly, but you should know how to utilize it. Again, this is also a secondary source. Do not rely upon ChatGPT only for reading. First, read newspaper article, read opinions. If you have doubt, if you want to further enhance your knowledge, use YouTube, use ChatGPT as a secondary source. But definitely use it. This is available. और जो ChatGPT 3.5 है वो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट है, उसके लिए सब्सक्रिप्शन भी लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, और आपको सब्सक्रिप्शन की ज़रूरत है भी नहीं. जो यूपीएससी का जो भी रिक्वायरमेंट है दैट कैन बी फुलफिल्ड बाय GPT 3.5. So use it whenever it is possible, for whatever topic you want to use it. Definitely use it. So these are for me, these are the sources which one should refer to. Anyways, if you have any question in sources, in syllabus, you can ask questions. This is another way how we enhance our knowledge. We ask questions. ये बहुत important है. That हमारे preparation का बहुत important part यही है. How should we approach a particular topic then? As I said that lot of technicality is not required. So how should we approach this? I already have mentioned that the questions are, most of the questions are current affairs inspired, if not all of them. First, most of the questions are analytical questions. That is, if you apply logic, you'll be able to get the correct answer, and you'll be able to filter out the wrong options given in the question, rather than relying upon rote memorization. In most of the questions in science and tech, there are few part of your syllabus where this will be correct. Almost entire science tech, a significant part of geography, which is physical geography, a significant part of economy, conceptual economy wala jo part hai, right? Similarly, same goes for polity also, jo conceptual part of polity hai. These are areas where rote memorization se zyada अच्छा है कि अगर आपके fundamentals clear हो. Some part of ecology and environment also, not the other part. Like there are almost in every subject you have factual part. Geography में भी आपको map तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा, याद रखना पड़ेगा map पे locations. Ecology environment में भी आपको national park का location पता होना चाहिए, species के बारे में आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा, right? Even in economics data वगैरह आपको देखना पड़ेगा. But in science tech, almost every question, I would say out of 12, 9 to 10 questions, they can be solved logically rather than relying upon rote memorization. So that is another good thing here. How should we approach a topic? Whatever topic it is given, I have only used here emerging technologies. But let's say it's a topic of health. Just let's say you came across about monkeypox, which is in news a lot. So what should you know as an aspirant about monkeypox? So you have to know first of all what type of disease it is, what causes this disease, right? What is the pathogen? Is it a bacteria, virus? A lot of time you do not have to remember the scientific names of viruses and bacterias. But if there is a virus, then how it is getting spread? Is it an airborne virus? Is there a carrier of this virus? What is the carrier then? You should know. What are the common symptoms or unique symptoms of this disease? How does it spread? Right? Do we have some vaccine, some treatment option available for this? Like these are some very basic line by line question you should ask from this topic, without worrying about कि वायरस का एक नया स्ट्रेन मिला है, उस स्ट्रेन का नाम ये है. ये सारी चीज़ें हमको नहीं जाननी है. हमको बेसिक आइडिया होना चाहिए मंकी पॉक्स के बारे में. एंड दैट इज़ हाउ, what is India doing, for example, to tackle, let's say, what was this recent announcement all about by government of India about monkeypox? So very basic ideas should be very clear, and most of the questions will be answered just by having this very basic understanding of a particular topic. Okay. So an understanding of emerging technologies. You are coming across a technology. You read something about artificial intelligence. You try to learn more about artificial intelligence, what it is exactly, for what exactly we are using this word AI. Is it one technology or is it like many technologies together we are calling it AI? The moment you ask this question, then you realize that no, it is many different type of technologies. We are calling it AI. You go and read about them then. That there is something called large language model. There is something called computer vision. There is something called natural language processing. And you're trying to understand all of them briefly, just in 2-3 lines, not a lot. Again, we do not have to go into a lot of technicalities. You're not supposed to write AI algorithms, but you are supposed to define AI. This is the fundamental difference in GS preparation versus, let's say, you had to gain some expertise in the domain. Here you do not have to gain the expertise, but you need to be very clear about your fundamentals. You come across, let's say, blockchain technology as a topic. Then the first immediately, how should I prepare this topic then? Immediately, if I should ask you that what is blockchain technology, then you should have a ready-made definition prepare. In 30-40 words, you are able to define what is blockchain technology. Like at its core, what are we talking about? You should be able to do that first. Second, you should know why this is in news a lot. Like what are some of these features of blockchain technology which has allowed to it remain in news for more than 5-10 years now. Then you ask a question that what are the possible applications of this technology? You immediately get to know, for example, about cryptocurrencies. So that will lead to another question. What are cryptocurrencies? But apart from cryptocurrencies, what are other applications of blockchain technology? You ask about those applications. And then the third question you should ask here is that do we find limitations, issues, challenges associated with this technology? So blockchain technology has lots of application, but there must be also some of the limitations of this technology. Let's try to learn about them. That what are its limitations? What are some of the challenges associated with this technology? And last but not the least, if Union Government of India, do not have to worry a lot about state governments unless they are into news a lot. But if Union Government of India is doing something in a particular domain of technology, then you should know that also. That there is some ministry, there is some department within ministry, and that department within ministry is doing something in a particular domain of technology. Few ministries are important for you. Of course, you have Ministry of Science and Technology. उसमें दो सबसे important department हैं, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology. Then you have Ministry of Earth Sciences. So Ministry of Earth Sciences looks into oceanic research, all of the research which is happening in oceanography, and all of the research which is happening in polar areas at Arctic and Antarctic. And then they also do weather prediction and climate modeling. So these are the three domains which is taken care by Ministry of Earth Sciences. Then you have Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. They look into, as the name suggests, all of the electronics and information technology development. And then apart from that, you have Department of Space and Department of Atomic Energy. They both work under Prime Minister. So you should know what is Department of Space doing, because ISRO comes under Department of Space. And Department of Atomic Energy is contributing to nuclear technology development. Right? So Ministry of Defense, what type of procurement Ministry of Defense is doing? If it is a basic procurement, guns, etc., you can ignore that. But if it is some state-of-the-art technology, or either we are developing or we are acquiring, then what is the state-of-the-art technology part here? That you should know. So in science and tech, few ministries, you should have you should keep track of them, what they are doing. The most important is ISRO, DAE, not under any ministry, directly under Prime Minister, but you have to keep track of these two agencies. And then Ministry of Science and Technology, that is very important. Then you have Ministry of Earth Sciences, Ministry of Electronics and IT, maybe Ministry of Defense also. So that is the meaning of this word, that government initiatives, if any, in a particular domain, you should know that, right? And few questions from time to time will also be from basic science. And within basic science, questions will be from physics and biology, not so much from chemistry. So anyways, these are some of the type of questions you can expect to be asked by UPSC in prelims. And by the way, this approach is true for both prelims and mains examination. ये जो मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा है, ऐसा नहीं कि कोई prelim specific है. Mains में भी same चीजें करनी है. That I have a basic understanding of a technology. I am understanding its various applications, its challenges, etc., etc. Okay, so I do not have anything else to tell you how to approach this subject, except to show you a few examples. What did I mean earlier? Whatever I mentioned earlier, that I am going to show some examples asked by UPSC from previous year. जैसे there was a 15 marker question asked by UPSC last year on Chandrayaan 3, which was a very expected question. That is another thing, that a very expected theme was asked by this, right? And look at the question: what is the main task of third moon mission? List the countries that have achieved this task. Introduce the system in spacecraft launched and explain the role of Virtual Control Center at Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Except this part, Virtual Launch Control Center also was covered by newspapers. But if you have missed it, and that is why reading newspaper by yourself is important, because there is a very good chance that this will not be covered by many magazines. But this was a very standard easy question. Similarly, another 15 marker question last year, sorry, 2022 ka hoga hai. A question on James Webb Space Telescope, which was launched by NASA. Again, you then immediately ask that should I know everything about what NASA is doing? The answer is no. But if you know James Webb Space Telescope, then you immediately know that no, this is something which you should have known. This was one of the most remarkable achievement by NASA, and in its scope, JWST is like it is the most powerful telescope, and that is why one should have known about this. Or a question about India's having its own space station, or a question about NAVIC, navigation of Indian constellation. So you do not expect themes which are like very random, or themes which you do not know, or themes which you cannot appreciate. Like, I'm very sure that at least, if not all, like at least you can answer perhaps third or fourth question, or even first question you can answer given the information you have read in the newspapers. Some of the questions from biotechnology. A question asked by UPSC again in 2023. Discuss several ways in which microorganisms can help in meeting the current fuel shortage. अब देखो बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स जो टेक्नोलॉजी है वो एक इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी नॉलेज का पार्ट है. जैसे जब आप हायर डोमेन पे, हायर एरियाज पे जाते हो, तो आपको ये पता चलता है कि जो पूरा फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, बायोलॉजी हमने डिवाइड कर रखा है, इसका बहुत ज़्यादा सेंस नहीं बनता है बहुत हाई लेवल पे. थिंग्स बिकम इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी. जैसे even within technology, I talked about two domains separately. I talked about biotechnology, I talked about energy resources. But this is a question which is juxtaposing these two. Essentially, this is a question about biofuel. So you know about ethanol, you know about methanol, you know about biogas, you know about, let's say, hydrogen also. But then you should have also known that how do we actually produce ethanol? Ethanol के लिए हमने मान लो कोई बायोमास हमने ले भी लिया, तो बायोमास और इथेनॉल में बन कैसे रहा है? एंड दिस इज वेयर बैक्टीरियाज कम इनटू प्लेस, राइट? जो बायोगैस बन रहा है, जो मीथेन हम प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं एनिमल डंग से, कैटल डंग से, वो कैसे बन रहा है? अगेन बैक्टीरियाज कम इनटू प्लेस. सो दिस क्वेश्चन वाज एसेंशियली अबाउट बायोफ्यूल्स, दैट बायोटेक्नोलॉजी इन एनर्जी प्रोडक्शन. देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन आस्क्ड बाय यूपीएससी in 2021 about basic principle behind vaccine development. वैक्सीन कैसे काम करते हैं, एंड कोविड-19 के लिए हमने कैसे, किस टाइप के वैक्सीन्स बनाए हैं. What has India done in tackling COVID-19? What are research and developmental achievements in applied biotechnology? Applied biotechnology means that we are not talking about simply understanding of biological processes. We are talking about how we are using them in different domains of technology. Maybe one of that domain you had to answer here was about biofuel. Right? This is an applied field of biotechnology. How can biotechnology improve the living standard of farmers? This was a 15 marker question, by the way. 250 words, just one line. How can biotechnology help the living standard of farmers? तो इसीलिए मैंने शुरू में भी बोला था कि जो भी हम डोमेन पढ़ेंगे, one thing should be very clear, that how a particular domain of technology has applications at the grassroots development of our nation. Right? And you should keep this in back of your mind. Simple questions. Nanotech is given in your syllabus. What do you understand by nanotechnology? How is it helping in health sector? IPR से क्वेश्चन आ रखा है. देखो 2019 में आया था लास्ट क्वेश्चन, फिर 2015 में क्वेश्चन आया था, तो हर 3-4 साल पे क्वेश्चन एक आता है. Nuclear technology, with growing energy needs, should India keep on expanding its nuclear energy program? Discuss the facts and fears associated with nuclear energy. अब जैसे I said that some questions can be difficult to attempt. In 2018, there was a question like this. Discuss the work of Bose-Einstein statistics done by Professor Satyendra Nath Bose and show how it revolutionized the field of physics. Now, this is something which is not even like 9th, 10th or 11th, 12th knowledge will suffice. Like you really need to know physics at graduation, post-graduation level to appreciate this, or unless your optional is physics. So, but the good thing about such questions is that you can simply skip them. You do not have to, why do you have to worry about attempting a question which you know nothing about? You have more time to attempt rest of the question. But this will be again, across many years, only one example. Because another question from the same, this contribution of Indians in science and technology about contributions of Dr. Visvesvaraya and Dr. Swaminathan. Swaminathan in agriculture, Visvesvaraya in civil engineering. This is very simple. There are 4 points in both of the names, and you simply can complete your answer in 150 words easily. So there will be few questions which are difficult. Robotics से सिर्फ एक ही question आया अभी तक. What are the areas of prohibitive labor that can be sustainably managed by robots? All the dangerous work or illegal work which as per law is illegal but still happening, manual scavenging for example. That in all these areas, how robots can help us. So think of chemical waste management, nuclear waste management, sludge management, mining, rescue work, fire squad, bomb squad, manual scavenging. Just you have to, and इसके लिए कोई expertise की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. That if I ask you, give you this question right now, and I'm very sure that you can come up with 5 unique points, and you can at least answer the first part really, really well. So this is what science tech syllabus is all about. That you have to work on your basic understanding, basic aptitude, and most of the questions will be answerable. Last year, another question of science tech. Introduce the concept of AI. How does AI help in clinical diagnosis? Do you perceive any threat to privacy of individuals in the use of AI in healthcare? Right? This is a very specific domain, very specific application of AI in healthcare. One question from defense also. How is S-400 air defense system technically superior to any other presently available in the world? This was also picked by current affairs by UPSC. So you do not expect very complex questions. You expect simple, straightforward, application-based question in mains examination. Another question in 2023, difference between electrical vehicles and combustion engine. Nobel Prize in Physics of 2014, but this was asked in 2022. One of the Nobel laureates had died. And because of that, UPSC picked this theme and asked this question in 2022. COVID-19 pandemic, and how are we handling this pandemic with help of technology? COVID-19 pandemic has caused unprecedented devastation. Give an account of how technology was sought to aid management of the pandemic. I'm very sure that if I give you a question right now, you can answer this question really, really well. Do not need expertise at how various domains of technology helped us in managing COVID-19 pandemic. So any questions if you have, looking at the nature of questions asked by UPSC in mains examination, you can ask questions. There is no one way to, okay, I understand your question. The question is that how to conclude science and tech answers. But there is not one way. Like, I cannot say that there is one way to conclude the answer. This depends upon a specific question. So let's say, for example, let's discuss this. Let's discuss these 3 questions asked by UPSC in 2023, and all 3 of them will require 3 different type of conclusion. First, second part is very simple, but look at this question. This is a 150 word question, and already 3 part है. तो जो तीसरा पार्ट का जब आप आंसर लिखोगे, डू यू परसीव एनी थ्रेट टू प्राइवेसी ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स इन यूज ऑफ एआई इन हेल्थ केयर, वो एक तरीके का कंक्लूजन ही हो जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे आपको अलग से कंक्लूजन लिखने का टाइम भी नहीं मिलेगा, ना स्पेस है ना टाइम है. तो आपने तीसरा पार्ट आंसर किया, वो कंक्लूजन हो गया. दैट प्राइमा फेसी यस देयर कैन बी अ थ्रेट टू हेल्थ केयर, बट आप ऐड करोगे कि देयर आर वेज टू मिनिमाइज दैट थ्रेट. मे बी दैट कैन बी, वो आपका जो कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क होगा उस साइड होगा, दैट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट यस दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम बट देयर आर वेज टू रेक्टिफाई दिस प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है. Let's look at another question asked by UPSC in 2023. The adoption of electric vehicles is rapidly growing worldwide. How do electric vehicles contribute to reducing carbon emissions and what are the key benefits they offer compared to traditional combustion engine vehicle? अब यहाँ पे देखो कोई opinion based question तो है नहीं. This is a simple understanding based question. But here ideally you should write conclusion and there can be many ways to write conclusion. But for me one of the best way to write conclusion in this question will be that as you talk about the benefits, then you mention that because of these benefits government, let's say government of India has started many initiatives. And you talk about some of those initiatives. You talk about let's say National Electric Mobility Mission Plan. You talk about FAME India scheme. You talk about all these charging stations government has focused upon, right? तो एक हमारा एक awareness भी दिखाएगा कि as an aspirant you already know that what are some of the developments which are happening in India, right? So it is a 15 marker question. You should write conclusion and one way to do that, there can be other ways also, but one way to do that you talked about government initiatives. Let's look at one more question asked by UPSC again this year, sorry last year. Chandrayaan 3. अब ये क्वेश्चन इतना बड़ा है, इसमें इतना पार्ट है कि आपको कंक्लूजन लिखने का टाइम नहीं मिलेगा. सिंपली ये इवन दो 15 मार्कर क्वेश्चन है बट ये तीनों पार्ट, 4 पार्ट हैं वैसे तो, बट ये पार्ट चलो बहुत छोटा है, लिस्ट द कंट्रीज दैट हैव अचीव्ड दिस, तो इसमें तो खाली नाम लिखना है. बट ये 4 पार्ट अगर आप लिख दोगे तो भी आपका हो गया, कंप्लीट हो गया आंसर आपका, राइट? और अगर आपको लिखना है तो तब तो शायद गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस नहीं किया था, बट अभी अगर मुझे कंक्लूजन लिखना है देन आई कैन मेंशन अबाउट Chandrayaan 4. Or I could have mentioned, even if I am not mentioning Chandrayaan 4, I could have mentioned that this is, let's say for example, जो इंडिया का पूरा एक, with this success of Chandrayaan 3, we essentially are part of an elite group of space agencies. Future space treaties होंगी, overall जब हम strategic changes की बात करते हैं space में, India will have a major say in that. तो इस तरीके से हम एक conclusion, तो बड़ा एक general सा 1-2 लाइन का conclusion हम लिखेंगे. तो different questions, different requirement, कोई एक fix तरीका नहीं हो सकता है, right? तो ये हर topic और हर question के लिए true है. Polity में भी ऐसे एक fixed conclusion नहीं हो सकता, वो question पे dependent होगा. Economics में भी same चीज़ है, ethics में भी same चीज़ है, which is also true in science and tech. So looking at the nature of the question, we accordingly conclude the answer. ठीक है? Any other question? Yes, anybody has? Yes. Go ahead. आपको न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते रहना चाहिए. अभी आपको 2027 में अगर अटेम्प्ट है तो आपको ये करना चाहिए कि आपको न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग का अभी से आदत डाल लेना चाहिए. और जो भी चीज़ें समझ में नहीं आ रही हैं उसको आप थोड़ा सा एफर्ट लगा रहे हो समझने का. और अच्छी बात यह है कि आप 2 साल ये पढ़ लो, अगर 2 साल कर लोगे तो इस साल और अगले साल का कर लोगे तो आपको लगेगा कि 2026-27 में अगर कुछ मेजर चेंज होते भी हैं तो आपके लिए बहुत नया नहीं होगा, वो आप बहुत आराम से अप्रिशिएट कर पाओगे. विच इज़ बाय द वे ट्रू फॉर नॉट जस्ट साइंस टेक एज अ टॉपिक बट ऑल्सो फॉर अदर टॉपिक्स. कि आपको मान लो इकॉनमी में भी कुछ गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ अनाउंसमेंट किया, आप उसका ज़्यादा क्रिटिकल इवैल्यूएशन अच्छे से कर पाओगे. आपको ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी किसी की क्रिटिकल इवैल्यूएशन की, आप वो खुद से करोगे. पॉलिटी में आप रियलाइज़ करोगे कि जो भी आज से 4 साल बाद जो इशू निकल के आएंगे आपके 2027 मेंस के पहले, वो आपको लगेगा कि ये तो पहले में हुआ था, ये 3 साल पहले भी मैंने देखा था, सेम न्यूज़ था, वहीं गवर्नर वाले इशू हैं, वहीं जुडिशरी वाले इशू हैं. तो आपको रियलाइज़ होगा कि बहुत सारी चीज़ें रिपीट होती हैं, राइट? तो अभी जो हम इमीडिएटली ये करेंगे कि हम अपने बेसिक NCERTs को पढ़ेंगे और हम न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग अच्छे से करेंगे, राइट? इस पर हम फोकस करेंगे सिर्फ, और कॉलेज को एंजॉय करेंगे. अभी ये भी करेंगे हम. एनीवेज, and somebody else had a question. हाँ जी. Yeah. 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 In science and tech, most of the time, even directly jumping to the questions requirement will be more than enough. How you can add points that will often require some current. Just for example, let me show you. Again, I will use an example for that. Let's say that what type of value addition I can do here in this answer. How does AI help in clinical diagnosis? Let's say I'm talking about that AI is helping, let's say, data analytics to discover a new medicine. But if I have an example to prove that, then that will be value addition material. Let's say I'm saying that AI is helping in diagnosing diseases, and early diagnosis becomes very important to take care of them. If I have an example, just say immediately when I thought of this question, I felt that there are few examples. I just few months before I had watched one of the Google's presentation where Sundar Pichai had talked about how one of their AI tool is essentially scanning retinal scan and then trying to predict your probability that you suffer from some sort of heart disease. Somehow there is a connection, interconnection. An AI tool was trying to do that, and it was very successful in doing that. Right? So for me, that's a fantastic example. So in science and tech, to add value to my answer, whatever points I'm writing, if I have few examples to prove that point, substantiate that point, that will be my value addition. Lot of time value addition can also be, for example, there is a premise of the question and you have just focused upon the premise. Let's say another question asked by UPSC, same, electric vehicle is rapidly growing worldwide. Do you have some data to prove this? So question is giving you a statement, but I can prove this statement, right? I have some data from, let's say, something is happening in India, that you came across some report by Niti Aayog or some think tank also, that this is the projected demand, that by 2030 EV market will become double, something like that. Globally it is going to increase by this much. So if you have some data point, you added it here, you substantiated this first line, and that becomes my value addition material. So इस तरीके से हम value addition करेंगे, that you, whatever points, whatever reasoning you are mentioning, you have some data points to substantiate that. Okay. Any other question? No, I didn't mention magazine. Vision Eyes का magazine ही तो था. No need to do that. तो उसका पढ़ना चाहो तो आप पढ़ सकते हो. साइंस क्वेश्चन है कि साइंस रिपोर्टर वगैरह हम पढ़े क्या. देखो जितने नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आते हैं वो हिंदू से हो जाएगा वो. तो एक वही इनपुट आउटपुट वाला गेम है. तो मैं आपको मैगजीन पढ़ूँ वो एक्स्ट्रा बिना मतलब का बर्डन है उससे. और जो भी चीज़ें साइंस रिपोर्ट का कवरेज अच्छा होता है, मैं खुद पढ़ता हूँ, मुझे पढ़ाना है, मैं पढ़ता हूँ मैं. बट आई ऑल्सो रियलाइज़ की जो चीज़ें साइंस रिपोर्ट में पढ़ता हूँ मैंने पढ़ रखा है न्यूज़पेपर में, राइट. और बहुत बार जो अच्छे आर्टिकल्स होते हैं हम मैगजीन में भी कवर कर लेते हैं. सो आई विल नॉट रिकमेंड इट, ऑल्दो इफ़ यू वांट टू रीड इट, इफ़ यू हैव इंटरेस्ट, डेफिनेटली गो अहेड एंड डू दैट. बट आई डोंट फील लाइक इसको करने इतना ज़्यादा उसको लेके परेशान होने की ज़रूरत है. Yeah, it is good to skip them. If you do not have blue LED, why blue LED was asked? I will give you the logic of blue LED question. Bose-Einstein was also not asked randomly, by the way. This was covered, something had happened. Professor Satyendra Bose, उनका कुछ तो birth कुछ साल हुए थे. होता है ना 20, 40, 50 साल जो होता है तो उस पर क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. तो कुछ तो था ये जिसके कारण ये न्यूज़ में था. So because of that, this question was asked by UPSC. I think 50 year of his birth anniversary had occurred, something like that. And because of that, and this was covered by newspapers also. That is the first. So this was from current affairs. But in any case, this is a question which requires core understanding of physics, and within a physics, statistical physics, if you do not know, simply skip it. That gives you more time to answer, and sometimes it happens in paper 2 also, sometimes it happens in paper 1 also. That if you do not know something, कुछ भी नहीं पता, then random guess करने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. अगर कुछ logical लग रहा है, जैसे मान लो, जैसे ये वाला क्वेश्चन देखो बायोटेक का जो है, अगर आप प्राइमा फेसी पढ़ के आप कनेक्शन जल्दी से बना सकते हो आप ये. That let's say when you read this seemed unusual. Microorganisms, fuel shortage. मतलब जल्दी से establish connection करना मुश्किल है. But you thought about it and then you realize that okay, this question is nothing but about biofuels. This question is about ethanol, methanol, biogas, hydrogen, biohydrogen, all of those things. And then you write this answer. But यहाँ पे तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते ना. यहाँ पे I simply do not know. I simply do not know, right? Coming to blue LED question. This was also asked because of current affairs. One of the Nobel laureate had died. I do not know exactly. I do not remember out of 3 who. First thing. And second thing, In last 20-year physics Nobel Prize, this is the only Nobel Prize which can be explained to a layman also. And it has practical utility in our day-to-day life. All of the Nobel Prizes very difficult to comprehend, right? And they will have, some of them of course have practical applications, many of them will have practical applications perhaps down the line. But blue LED essentially is very important, that if you want to produce white color, then you need red, green and blue. And people had produced red LED and green LED, but they simply did not know how to produce blue LED. Blue LED requires more frequency, and nobody was able to figure it out, how to do that. But once we did that, it was amazing. That this display would not have been possible, this light would not have been possible. In so many different domains we use essentially that blue LED along with green and red. And that has simply allowed so many different domains of technology. So it has practical applications in our day-to-day life. Right now we are using it. And because of that, this was an important Nobel Prize and one should have known. But I will repeat that this was an unusual question because you do not go and read 2014 Nobel Prize in 2022. So if you had no idea, then yes, I would suggest that simply skip this question. And there is nothing wrong in it. Believe me, there is nothing wrong in it. Any other question? Yeah. If it is relevant, then you get step marking, yes. The question is that do I get step marking in answer writing? Yes. But do not fill your paper with unnecessary jargon, because that will simply piss off the examiner कि आप आता नहीं, आप जबरदस्ती कर रहे हो. बट आपको जैसे बोस-आइंस्टाइन कॉन्डेंसेट जो है वो रिलेवेंट है. वो बोस-आइंस्टाइन आप जैसे 3 लाइन में आपने यही लिख दिया that the discovery of Bose-Einstein statistics led to discovery of fifth state of matter which we call Bose-Einstein condensate, a very low state temperature state matter. अगर इतना भी आपको याद है लिख दिया तो आपको 1 नंबर मिल जाएगा. ये रिलेवेंट है, यहाँ पे रिलेवेंट है. बट अगर आपने मान लो हिग्स बोसॉन के बारे में लिख दिया, कुछ तो हमने पढ़ा था बोस के बारे में, हिग्स बोसॉन पढ़ा था, आपने उसको लिखना शुरू कर दिया, बिल्कुल मीनिंगलेस है, कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, 0 नंबर मिलेंगे, राइट? तो ये नहीं करना हमको. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि दिस इज समथिंग विच इज रिलेवेंट, आई नो, जैसे इवन इन दिस क्वेश्चन ब्लू एलईडी एक्चुअली लेड टू सो मेनी डिफरेंट डोमेन्स. द सिंपलेस्ट वन इज दिस एलईडी लाइट विच लेड टू essentially energy reduces, energy consumption जो हमारा कम हुआ, which is environment friendly. But it has applications in display, it has applications in making better medical imaging devices, it has applications in making better storage devices in electronics. So if I do not know about all of them, even if I write this too in display and energy consumption reduction, that is more than enough. So whatever I know, if I know it to be concrete, just mention it and you will get marks for that. So yes, the answer is yes. For writing relevant answer, part of the question, not the entire question, you do get marks. Okay, let me show you some of the questions asked by UPSC. I will only show you few questions from every domain, whatever domain I mentioned earlier, जो prelims के लिए मैंने classify किया था. So basic science के question देखो कैसे आएंगे. जैसे ये 2023 का question है. ये बिल्कुल ही ऐसा question है, core biology का question है. ये भी हमेशा हर topic के लिए true है और ये science के लिए भी true है. That if something I do not know at all, then I simply skip it. There is no कोई फायदा नहीं है. There is no benefit in doing a guesswork in such question. Which one of the following is synthesized in human body that dilates blood vessels and increases blood flow? If I know it, and ऐसा भी नहीं कि options आसपास भी हैं. जैसे अगर आपने ये पढ़ा होता है कि there is some oxide of nitrogen जो कि करता है, तो उससे भी आंसर होगा नहीं. सारे के सारे यहाँ पे oxides of nitrogen है, तो आंसर नहीं होगा आपका. You have to know specifically which oxide of nitrogen. Right, so this will be one of the question which I will say that if I do not know, I will skip. But then immediately look at other questions also. By the way, answer is A here. This is a current affairs inspired question. Even knowing some of them, even if not all of them, जैसे if I know that CRISPR-Cas9 is a gene editing technique, I remove 3 and I have my answer 2 only. I did not even have to worry about a lot. I did not have to know Bell 2 experiment. In the current pattern, this becomes difficult. अगर same question होता, how many of them are correct? Then I know second to be correct, I know third to be wrong, right? तो मुझे ये तो पता है कि आंसर 1 only होगा या 2 only भी हो सकता है. तो ये फिर मुश्किल क्वेश्चन है. तो साइंस टेक का ही क्वेश्चन है, बट ये करंट अफेयर्स इंस्पायर्ड फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन है. And if I do not know Bell 2 experiment is associated with particle physics, then I am stuck in 50-50. But अभी जो है यहाँ पे तो बहुत आसान है. Third is a very important fact. I eliminate third, I get the correct answer. इतने सारे heavy words दे रखे हैं, event horizon, singularity, string theory, standard model. What are they exactly? Even if you know one of them, you can get the correct answer. And you did not have to go into details of any of these 4 things which is mentioned. Even a very basic understanding, basic term का meaning अगर clear है, तो आपका answer यहाँ पे clear है. Answer is A here, by the way. The word Denisovan is sometimes mentioned in media in reference to a difference between plants and an animal cell. In a pressure cooker, the temperature at which food is cooked depends upon which of the following. Very basic questions of science. Such a basic question again of biology, which can be cultured in artificial synthetic medium. You simply have to know that viruses cannot be done. There is a question from astronomy. Giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. Compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of nuclear reaction. Right, अब ये क्वेश्चन अगर आप देखोगे तो फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट को लेके अगर आपको कोई डाउट भी है, बट ये तो बहुत क्लियर होना चाहिए कि सेकंड स्टेटमेंट कैन नॉट बी द करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ स्टेटमेंट 1. That if there is a greater fusion, then stars should have a smaller life. So either first statement is wrong, or the answer perhaps statement 2 is wrong. So you immediately know that there is some contradiction here, that either of these 2 statements are wrong. Answer should be C or D. Even if I do not know, I can eliminate few options and get the right answer. But this is actually a very famous thing in astronomy. The first statement गलत है, second statement सही है. Comparing rockets of ISRO, PSLV and GSLV. Application based question. As I was saying, there will be application based question. What are the various applications of GPS technology? Basic understanding of NAVIC mission, Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System. 3 statement based question. बहुत ही आसान question है ये भी. So you look another application based question. In which of the following satellite images remote sensing data are used? So you look at many of these questions, they are not difficult. Another question from astronomy. Scientists observed merger of giant black holes billions of light years away from the Earth. What is the significance of this observation? ये बिल्कुल current affairs का question है. Gravitational waves line से news में है. This was a question about gravitational wave. Solar flare have been in news a lot. If a major solar storm reaches Earth, which of the following are the possible effects on the Earth? So questions are not, and by the way, देख के लग रहा होगा कि 7 statement है, बहुत ही मुश्किल question है, बहुत one of the easiest question जो हो सकता है, वो ये है, that you immediately eliminate 2 and you have your answer. Tsunamis cannot be triggered by solar flare. Simple question about genome sequencing. What it is, genome sequencing can be used to identify genetic markers, reducing the time required to develop new varieties of crop plants, can be used to decipher the host pathogen relationship in crops. So you find that questions are not difficult, questions are easy, questions are current affairs based, questions are application based, and even a very basic awareness about topics is more than enough to answer questions, right? But this will require, I will repeat this, what I said in the starting of the class, this will require more effort. But that effort will be much more fruitful also, because once some basic concepts are clear, once a technology is clear, then you'll realize that questions are very attemptable. You can easily attempt questions in both prelims and mains examination. So science tech, I will repeat, is one of the high scoring subject for both prelims and mains. And you have to work more hard, but if you're willing to do that, then you'll realize that this is going to give you much better reward compared to many other topics, which prima facie may look very simple. They are simple, but the risk-reward ratio is not that good. That you study lot of facts, but none of those facts are useful in examination. But in science tech, you do not have to study many facts. Some facts, yes. You need to understand topics, and most of the questions are answerable. Right? तो ये बहुत बार मैंने यही देखा है डिलेमा स्टूडेंट्स में, that आपको बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स बहुत आसान लग रहा है, मज़ा आ रहा है, बहुत बार पढ़ रहे हो आप, राइट, बहुत एफर्ट डाल रहे हो, वर्सेस यहाँ पे आपको ज़्यादा एफर्ट डालना पड़ेगा समझने में, बट एक बार समझ जाओगे तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया रिवार्ड होगा इसका. एंड दिस इज़ ट्रू फॉर, आई विल रिपीट, दिस इज़ ट्रू फॉर फ्यू ऑफ द टॉपिक्स. बहुत कम एरियाज ऑफ सिलेबस है जहाँ पे ये ट्रू है, एंड ऐसे एरियाज में हमारा फोकस होना चाहिए कि हम 90% क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करें. जो भी बेस्ट साइंस टेक करीब करीब पूरा, बेसिक क्वेश्चंस ऑफ इकोनॉमी, बेसिक क्वेश्चंस ऑफ पॉलिटी, इन्वायरमेंट का जो भी बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट आइडियाज़ हैं, ये सारे जो कुछ कुछ एरियाज़ हैं, फिजिकल जोग्राफी, यहाँ पे हमारा अटेम्प्ट 90% होना ही चाहिए, बिकॉज ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस हैं, और मैक्सिमम क्वेश्चन जो है आप एप्टीट्यूड यूज़ करके आप आंसर कर लोगे. इन अदर क्वेश्चंस, यस, यू नीड टू नाउ नो लॉट ऑफ फैक्ट्स, लॉट ऑफ यू नीड टू कीप प्रैक्टिसिंग थिंग्स, एंड देन यू क्लियर प्रीलिम्स. बट अगर इन्हीं एरियाज़ में आप कमज़ोर पड़ जाओ तो फिर देन दैट इज़ नॉट अ गुड वे टू प्रिपेयर either prelims or mains examination, right? So that's it from my side. If you have any questions about this topic, about your preparation, you can ask questions. Sorry? अभी मैं थोड़ी देर पहले उस पर बात कर रहा था दैट हिंदू में ऐसा है कि हिंदू का कवरेज बहुत डिटेल्ड कवरेज है, तो बहुत बार ऐसे लगता है कि आपको स्कैरी लग सकता है, आपको लग सकता है कि इतना डिटेल में हमको जाना है क्या. मैं ही बोल रहा था कि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम द आंसर इज नो, कि इतनी डिटेल में नहीं जाना. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम कोई भी टॉपिक थीमेटिकली न्यूज में है, आप ये याद रखो कि बहुत माइन्यूट एरियाज, रिसर्च डिटेल्स हमको ध्यान नहीं देना, हमको थीम्स पढ़ना है. जैसे ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी एक थीम है, मंकी पॉक्स एक थीम है, जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग एक थीम है, और उस थीम को पिक करके उसमें अगर कुछ एडवांसमेंट्स, डेवलपमेंट्स हो रहे हैं तो उस पर हमको जाना है. एंड वहाँ पे भी हमारा बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग अगर क्लियर है हमारा, तो न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग में जैसे हिंदू में हम हिंदू अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे, बहुत बढ़िया कवरेज है उनका, बट जार्गन के चक्कर में हम परेशान नहीं होंगे कि बहुत सारा जो जार्गन हो, संडे को आप पढ़ना हिंदू, देखा होगा आपने बहुत बार, बहुत सारा बहुत जार्गन रहता है, और उसके चक्कर में आप परेशान नहीं होंगे. बट हम यूजलेस जार्गन को फिल्टर करें और काम के जार्गन को ऐड करें, ये कैसे आएगा? तो ये हमारा PYQ से आएगा, ये प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन से आएगा कि यूपीएससी का एक्चुअल रिक्वायरमेंट है क्या. और आप रियलाइज करोगे कि जो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं यूपीएससी के, वो थीमेटिकली बहुत क्लियर होते हैं, राइट. दे डू नॉट एक्सपेक्ट यू टू गो इनटू लॉट ऑफ टेक्निकलिटीज, दे डू वांट यू टू डेवलप अ प्रॉपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. एंड देन इंडियन एक्सप्रेस का कवरेज जो है, हिंदू जितना डिटेल्ड नहीं है, बट उनका कवरेज 3-4 साल में बहुत बढ़िया हुआ है. सो हाईली रिकमेंड दैट एनी ऑफ द साइंस एंड टेक न्यूज़ विच इज़ गिवन इन इंडियन एक्सप्रेस एक्सप्लेन्ड पेजेस और एडिटोरियल, then definitely add that. तो अगर इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के एडिटोरियल एक्सप्लेन में कुछ है साइंस टेक का न्यूज़, तो आप ये ऐड करो, ठीक है. एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? आपको ये जानने का न्यूज़ है दैट जैसे ये दोनों का जो इंटरकनेक्शन है, दैट हमको डाई अमोनियम फॉस्फेट में फॉस्फोरिक एसिड चाहिए, और फॉस्फोरिक एसिड हमको चाहिए बैटरी बनाने के लिए भी हमको फॉस्फोरिक एसिड चाहिए. फॉस्फोरस ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई बहुत हाईली अवेलेबल न्यूट्रिएंट है, ठीक है. तो ये हम ना मेनली पहले मेंस में एक हमारा एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट आ गया कि अगर इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल पे क्वेश्चन आता है, तो इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल से रिलेटेड अगर हमको चैलेंजेस की बात करनी हो, सो नाउ आई हैव वन एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट. जैसे फ्यू चैलेंजेस वी नो द चैलेंजेस ऑफ बैटरी वेस्टेज, कि इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल 7-8 साल चलेगा, बैटरी उसका वेस्ट होगा, बैटरी को हम रिसाइकल करें, ठीक है. वी नो द चैलेंज ऑफ चार्जिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, की चार्जिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हमारा अच्छा नहीं है. वी नो द चैलेंज ऑफ दैट लिथियम आयन बैटरी हमारे पास हम प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर रहे हैं, वी आर बाइंग फ्रॉम अदर कंट्रीज. नाउ वी हैव वन मोर चैलेंज, दैट फॉस्फोरिक एसिड, a key component in production of fertilizer, particularly DAF fertilizer, diammonium phosphate fertilizer, very important for food security. But since electric vehicles economies of scale यहाँ पे better है ना, companies के लिए ज़्यादा profit है, तो वहीं phosphoric acid अब ज़्यादा दाम में automobile companies खरीदेंगी compared to fertilizer companies, तो that can compromise our food security. तो ये बस हम याद रखेंगे। और ऑफ कोर्स हम ये भी याद रखेंगे अब इस टॉपिक के कारण कि जो हमारा की कंपोनेंट जो है दोनों में सेम है, ये फैक्ट हम याद रखेंगे, ठीक है। तो हमारे मेंस के लिए भी काम हो गया और ये प्रीलिम्स के लिए भी हमारे यूजफुल हो गया, ठीक है। जैसे एनपीके रेशियो जो होता है, हाँ, तो देखो एनपीके रेशियो जो है वैसे तो एग्रीकल्चर साइंस में आप डिटेल में पढ़ते हो, बट लाइक दिस आई रिमेंबर दिस इज समथिंग एज अ चाइल्ड ऑल्सो। लाइक आई रिमेंबर जैसे 9th-10th का अगर आप एनसीईआरटी पढ़ोगे आपको एनपीके रेशियो कहीं ना कहीं मिल जाएगा। मतलब मुझे अभी तक इसलिए याद है बिकॉज मैंने स्कूल में पढ़ा था। तो अगर ये कुछ ऐसा रहता कि बहुत हाईली टेक्निकल जो कि एग्रीकल्चरल साइंस में ही खाली पढ़ो तो मैं बोलता कि इसको इग्नोर करो, बट ये बहुत ही कॉमन क्वेश्चन है। लाइक एनपीके इज समथिंग विच यू शुड नो, that what is the ideal mixture of fertilizer which should be used for plants, so which you should know. So yes, the answer is this. But आपने जो क्वेश्चन शुरू में पूछा था मुझे ऐसे लगा था कि फर्टिलाइजर का क्लासिफिकेशन रटना है क्या, ये नहीं करना हमको कभी भी। फर्टिलाइजर्स को हम कैसे क्लासिफाई कर सकते हैं ये नहीं करना, बट फर्टिलाइजर यूज इफिशियंसी पता होना चाहिए हमको, दैट यू शुड नो। यस, अगेन फॉर बोथ प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस इट विल बी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड यू कैन अप्रिशिएट इट दैट व्हाई आई शुड नो। I know that excessive fertilizer is problematic for soil in longer run. It causes water pollution, right? It of course is not good for sustainability in agriculture. तो ये सारी चीज़ें चूँकि problems हैं and इसीलिए fertilizer use efficiency पे काम करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। तो हम ये relate भी करेंगे कि rather than हम NPK ratio में पढ़ रहे हैं उसका significance क्या है ये हम relate करेंगे। The moment we relate it, things become easier, right? Any other question? Like in overall how to qualify or in science and tech you are asking? दिस इज देखो, एक तो सबसे पहली चीज़ है कि कोई ऐसे शॉर्टकट कोई एक रेडीमेड सोल्यूशन है नहीं विच एनीबडी कैन टेल यू। तो कोई भी अगर आपको ये बोलता है कि नहीं हमारा लेक्चर कर लो, हमारा मटेरियल पढ़ लो, हो जाएगा, तो सब उल्लू बना रहे हैं। तो बहुत क्लियर होना चाहिए कि आपका जो सिलेक्शन है इन प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस एग्जामिनेशन, इट इज़ लॉट अबाउट योर हार्ड वर्क। इट शुड बी वेरी क्लियर। आई एम वेरी क्लियर इन माई माइंड as a teacher of a coaching institute that aspirants by their own sheer work and dedication clear this examination. हमारा जो गोल है, हमारा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है और हमारा जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो बहुत लिमिटेड है, और वो ये है दैट हम आपको एक कंपटीशन लेवल पे जल्दी लेके आ जाएंगे। क्या आप खुद से कर सकते थे? द आंसर इज यस, आप कर सकते थे, बट आपको टाइम लगता, सो मच ऑफ मटेरियल, सो मच ऑफ कंफ्यूजन, इट विल क्रिएट अ प्रॉब्लम। सो इन अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे, escalating your preparation so that you are competing among the best, that is the limited role of institute. After that it is about your sheer work, your hard work, your perseverance, your consistency. So rather than saying that ये पढ़ लो वो पढ़ लो, ये सब तो बहुत क्लियर है कि बेसिक बुक्स क्या होती हैं, करंट अफेयर्स पढ़ना होता है, इसमें तो कुछ नहीं करना ना, राइट? तो उसके बाद फिर बहुत सिंपल से सजेशंस है दैट वॉट एवर वर्क्स, वॉट एवर स्ट्रैटजी वर्क्स, आपके लिए सबके लिए अपना एक यूनिक हो सकता है, बट एक चीज़ सब में कॉमन होगा और कुछ चीज़ें सब में कॉमन होगी, दैट ऑल द गुड एस्पिरेंट्स विल बी वेरी क्लियर इन देयर अप्रोच अबाउट देयर हैबिट, दैट यू आर स्टडिंग एवरी डे विदाउट एन एक्सेप्शन, यू आर नॉट मेकिंग सम रेडिकल जम्प्स इन योर स्टडीज़, दैट आप 14 घंटे पढ़ के खुश हो गए और 3 दिन आप फिर रेस्ट ले रहे हो। आप 5-6 घंटे ही पढ़ो लेकिन डेली पढ़ो, आप बढ़िया से टाइम मैनेज कर रहे हो, आप डेली प्लान बना रहे हो, मेक शॉर्ट टर्म प्लान्स रादर देन थिंकिंग ऑफ लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान्स। आप डेली प्लान बना रहे हो कि इस दिन मुझे करना है। डेली प्लान बनाने का फ़ायदा क्या होता है कि वो आप रियलिस्टिक बनाते हो और वो आप अचीव कर लोगे। 6 महीने का प्लान बनाओगे, अनरियलिस्टिक प्लान होगा, अचीव नहीं होगा, यू विल फील डिसअपॉइंटेड। सो मेक डेली प्लान, अचीव दैट, मैनेज योर टाइम वेल इन फोकसिंग ऑन डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स, राइट? ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है दैट, और जो भी हाई स्कोरिंग एरियाज हैं उस पर मोर फोकस करेंगे, बट जो भी हमारे वीक एरियाज हैं, सो 2 चीज़ों पे हम ज़्यादा फोकस करेंगे। जो हाई स्कोरिंग एरियाज इन जनरल हैं उसको हम खूब अच्छे से करेंगे, और जो हमारा वीक डोमेन है उसको भी हम और ज़्यादा अच्छे से करेंगे, ठीक है? फोकसिंग इनफ ऑन रिविजन ऑल्सो, ये भी बड़ा ज़रूरी है कि हम हर कुछ टाइम पे चीज़ों को रिवाइज करते रहें। अब रिविजन करने का एक साइंटिफिक तरीका क्या हो सकता है दैट आप ना रिविजन गैप बढ़ा सकते हो। जैसे डेली जितना भी आप पढ़ रहे हो, डेली सब कुछ तो रिवाइज नहीं कर सकते, पॉसिबल ही नहीं है। व्हाट यू कैन डू हियर इज दैट जैसे मैंने आज जो पढ़ा उसको मैं कल रिवाइज करूंगा, 5 दिन बाद करूंगा, 15 दिन बाद करूंगा, 40 दिन बाद करूंगा। यू कीप adding the days and you keep revising things. जैसे मान लो सिंपल सा एग्जांपल ले लो, मुझे गंगा के ट्रिब्यूटरीज याद रखने हैं, मैं आज याद रखूंगा, आज इसको एक बार ध्यान रख, मैप बनाऊंगा, मैं मैप पे जाके ट्रिब्यूटरीज ड्रॉ करूंगा, कल करूंगा मैं, बट अब मैं 5 दिन बाद करूंगा सेम काम, और फिर मैं 15 दिन बाद करूंगा. सो आई कीप एडिंग दिस number of keep increasing this number of date, so that sustainably I can revise all the topics I am studying. And you will realize that if you can replicate that for 1 year, then you'll not be able to forget it for very, very long. So these are very simple things you can do. Other very simple thing you can do is that app develop any, कोई भी app एक install करो जो आपके phone को lock करे 2-3 घंटे के लिए. गूगल का जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल जो माइंड, आई थिंक डिजिटल वेलबींग करके गूगल का ऐप है, वो क्या करता है कि आपके फ़ोन को ना ग्रे कलर कर देगा सब चीज़ को. तो जो भी सोशल मीडिया का जो कलर अट्रैक्शन है, ये सारी चीज़ें ग्रे हो जाएंगी. तो वो हमारा ब्रेन जो है ना, उसको बहुत क्विक डोपामाइन स्पाइक्स चाहिए कि डोपामाइन स्पाइक हो रहा है, आपने फ़ोन देखा, फुलफिल हो गया आपका रिक्वायरमेंट. तो ये इन रिक्वायरमेंट्स के नेसेसिटी को कम करेगा. और उससे भी बढ़िया ये है कि बहुत सारे ऐप आते हैं जो फ़ोन को लॉक करते हैं. लॉक करो बिल्कुल फ़ोन बहुत बड़ा डिस्ट्रैक्शन है. अब 5-6 घंटे ही पढ़ो, लेकिन ध्यान से अच्छे से मन लगा के पढ़ो. और उस 5-6 घंटे में आप 1 घंटे न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ रहे हो, 1-1.5 घंटे कोई भी नया टॉपिक जो आपको नहीं पता है वो पढ़ रहे हो, बट 1-2 घंटे आप रिवाइज भी कर रहे हो जो चीज़ें आपने ऑलरेडी पढ़ रखी है. तो चीज़ों को इक्वली डिवाइड करो और ये कीप डूइंग दैट फॉर 1-1.5 ईयर. whatever revision works, whatever strategy works for you, do that, right? तो ये फोकस करना, ये ध्यान रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है that it is your hard work and dedication which will actually allow you to clear prelims and mains and final examination. Any other question? Yes.
So basically, my point is that being a working professional, I get skipped with the reading newspapers. So on that point, and this creates a huge backlogs, and I get difficulties in catering those backlogs in Saturday or Sunday. So I really read certain guidance on those aspects, that how to create the backlog. And the second is how can I start making the applications of the newspaper reading into the answer writing that should reflect into the answer writing. Yeah.
Okay. So have you, are you also like taking classes anywhere?
No, I have done my classes. No, this is just the self-reading. Yeah, self-studying.
Okay. So what you can do here, for example, even if you're not getting newspaper reading for daily, then you can perhaps go through I'm assuming that you already have done some basic homework, you know your syllabus well, you have read all the subjects well. I'm assuming that part is clear. Okay, so with that, now you can focus on the usefulness of the ready-made material. So for example, take any institute. Many institutes now are providing daily news analysis. So rather than going through newspaper reading by yourself, use that daily news analysis. And magazine, you can of course use magazine for revision for those things. Use just one, as I said in the starting of the class. Do not go after many materials. Pick any one institute and stick to that. But do that daily. That will be very, very helpful. How to utilize this in answer writing? Maybe I'm very sure that you can take out time to write at least one answer daily, right? Choose a topic which you have studied well, right? For example, let's say you have studied polity really well. And you choose, let's say for example, a lot of issues are happening with respect to governor. You chose a question asked by UPSC on governor as an issue. You write the answer and then try to add whatever you have learned in last 1 year in newspaper reading. Try to add that as a fodder point in answer writing as an example, right? So keep thinking of whatever you are reading. The moment you are reading, keep thinking of that can there be a question on this topic directly by UPSC? That topic in itself is important, that there can be a question in prelims or mains examination. Or topic might not be important, but topic is a good example which can be quoted in answer writing. So whenever you are reading a topic, do this classification in your mind. If a topic is important for prelims and mains perspective, then whatever information is given, let's say in ready-made material, is that enough for you? If the answer is yes, then very well. But if the answer is no, then try to read more about that particular topic by yourself, okay? And if a topic has some relevance in answer writing, it is some data, it is some news which can be quoted in a specific type of question, then try to think what type of question where it will fit. And then immediately, or perhaps next day, choose a question like that and try to add that. And do that daily, or even if you cannot do that daily, perhaps if you cannot write even one answer daily, and which is totally fine, then perhaps you can choose 5 questions on Saturday and Sunday and do that. Choose 5 questions on Saturday and Sunday from, let's say, 2, 3 different topics and do that. And that will be of great help. Okay, so that is, I think, how it can be tackled.
And one more question regarding the flow chart or the diagram that should be mentioned into the answer writing. And regarding that, because time limit is quite, which is very constant for all of the aspirants for now. And adding to the diagrams into that, it's get difficult during that time zone to think over that and apply into the answer writing. So how to tackle that?
Okay, so I actually think that you should think of this as that you can reduce your time by making those diagrams. So rather than thinking about, so let's say for example, there is a 10 marker question. For example, let's say, let me take an example that will be very helpful. So for example, let's say I choose this very general question about what are the research and development achievements in the applied biotechnology. So a very simple way to do this in a flowchart manner, applied biotechnology, you made different arrows in different directions. You mentioned the words and you are explaining them below all of those keywords. So examiner already is very clear that you know all of these keywords and you are going to explain them below this diagram. Even better, perhaps you can make some sort of, let's say, tree branch जो हम करते हैं, that आपने 4-5 arrows निकाले, word लिखा, and next में वहीं पे आपने explain किया. So do that also. So rather than thinking of that this is increasing your effort or this is increasing your time, you should actually do the opposite. That making those diagrams and making those flowcharts are essentially helping you in reducing your word limit and reducing your time for answer writing. Because if you're thinking of this, that this is actually creating some extra burden and you're not able to accommodate this, then don't do it at all. The purpose of flowchart, purpose of making diagram is to reduce the word limit, reduce the time taken, and still enhance the quality of the answer, right? And if that purpose is not getting fulfilled, I will repeat, don't use them. Use the traditional approach, that is totally fine. I also do think that a lot of this diagram and flowchart in many cases are simply overrated. In some questions it will make a lot of sense, but in many questions it will not make that sense. Any other question? If you have any questions, feel free to send me a mail. All the best in your preparation.